What is happening, guys? It's Game Walkthroughs 22 back with another World of Nintendo review. Today I'm reviewing the World of Nintendo 4-inch Link action figure. Now before I actually start talking about this figure, I'm going to quickly show you guys what the packaging looks like, because I don't even think I even really need to say it. If the packaging is not shown next to the figure, just assume that I either threw it out or I lost it. In this case, I threw out all of the packages. I no longer have any of the packages. So I'm gonna quickly show you guys a picture of what Link looks like in his packaging. Alright, so this is what he looks like. This is what he looks like. So he's got green packaging, and this Link is based off the Link from Skyward Sword, which I've never played. It looked like it was a pretty good Zelda game. And again, this is from Series 1-1. Might be kind of hard to see, but again, ages 3 and up. Character's name. I forgot to mention that the Mario characters' mystery accessories come in a question mark box. The Link's mystery accessory comes in, it looks like a treasure chest kind of box. And he looks pretty nice. And there's the figure displayed in the window packaging. And, oh yeah, official Nintendo seal of approval. And that is really it. Oh, I forgot one other thing. Hold on a sec, guys. Alright, so let's take a look at Link. So let's start with detail. So with Link, he looks very, very game accurate to Skyward Sword. I've seen some of the artwork for Skyward Sword, and I've seen some of the screenshots, and he looks pretty accurate to the game. He's got a nice sculpt for his face. He's got his eyes look pretty good. He's got like kind of like a serious look on his face, which is nice, because Link is most of the time Link is very serious about fighting Ganon and other enemies. And so I don't really play Zelda games too much anymore. I'm not really a huge Zelda fan. I only got this Link just for the collection because I gotta catch them all. Excuse me. And his hair is like dirty blonde. Looks really nice. It looks like he's got earrings too, like blue earrings. Might be kind of hard to tell, but those look pretty cool. Come on, camera, focus. Alright, there we go. And he got his green hat. I apologize if the lighting is kind of bad. And his green tunic, and got these like blue things on his arms. I don't know what these are. They've got these are like, what color are these? They're like dark brown gloves, I guess, that he's wearing. His hand, I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm not describing this figure very well. I'm doing the best I can. And then we've got his tan pants, and then his brown boots, and his brown belt, and his gray belt buckle, and his detail just looks really nice. This is one of the most detailed figures out there so far. And it's really it for his detail. His detail looks very good. Now for articulation, his head goes 360 degrees. And his arms, they're on ball joints, so you can move them out a little bit, and they can go 360 degrees as well. His elbows bend. His wrists can twist, and his wrists are kind of like have this like hinge joint to them, so they can kind of move in and out, which is cool. And then his legs kind of move, but they're kind of limited because his tunic is in the way. And then his legs, or not his legs, his feet, or his boots, they can go back, and they can go back to the original position. They can't go really forward, and then his ankles can swivel all around. So he's a I forget the scale with all these figures, but they are supposedly like 4 inches, 4.25 inches, 4.5 inches. So he is a 4-inch figure with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10. Sorry, I'm sorry, I have to start over. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I believe he has 13 points of articulation. So he, let me just say, he is definitely the most articulated figure in this first wave. For 4-inch figures, that is. Actually, the most fully articulated figure in the first wave overall. So that's a nice accomplishment. And he does have. He also comes with. He comes with technically 2 accessories, or actually 3. He comes with his this holder for his sword, which has a nice detail to it. Not really much I can say about it. It's like blue, and it has some gold paint on it, and then there's a little peg in there you can actually stick into Link's back so that he can carry his sword on his back. And then here we have oh god, I want to say this is the Master Sword, but oh my god, I don't remember. I'm sure Zelda fans are gonna probably are probably going to have a lot of hateful comments if you guys are watching this, but it's just his sword. It looks really nice. He's got light blue for the blade, and then a dark blue for like the handle, and it looks just like it does in the Zelda games. And then his mystery accessory is his Hylian shield, which looks very nice. Looks just like the shield in Skyward Sword. I got the yellow Triforce, and then you've got I don't know what this is, and I don't know what these are either, because like I said, I don't really play Zelda games anymore. And then got the gray. You got like 2 handles. You've got this gray handle, and then you've got this brown leathery handle, which kind of has some movement to it. It's really nicely detailed. And now I'm going to attempt to have Link holding his sword and his shield. And this is where the flaws are going to come in with this figure. Hold on a sec. Alright, here he is with his sword and shield. You could get some cool poses with Link holding his sword and shield. Let me zoom in so you guys can see this better. Again, I apologize about the lighting, guys. I'm filming in my room, and the lighting is not very good in here. So, again, I apologize. Just bear with me. So, there's Link holding his sword and shield. Doesn't look too bad. You can get some cool poses. Sorry. You can get some cool poses with him holding his sword and shield, but good luck if you can actually get him to have his sword and shield like not move around too much when you're trying to pose him. Which now we move on to the flaws, which the first flaw that I have is that he's kind of hard to stand up. Now, as you can see right now, it looks like he's standing up pretty well, but you'll see what I'm talking about in just a sec. So, he can easily fall over. Like, you have to find some way to get him to balance. Like, look at this. If I just leave him like this, he will fall over. So you want to get some way to have his feet stabilized so that he will stand up. It's not too hard to figure out how to get him to stand up, but there are some times where he will fall over, which is a big disappointment. Another thing that annoys me is that this kind of goes back to with him having a hard time standing up. But when he's holding his sword and shield make him kind of top heavy, which I am not happy with either, because then it's a pain in the ass trying to get him to stand up or display him on your shelf, and it's something I do have to complain about. So here's him holding his sword and shield. He's stabilized pretty well. He seems to be standing up pretty well now, but if you, like, I don't know, if you, like, well, he'll fall over eventually, but, just trying to get him to stand up without falling over is kind of a pain in the ass. Another flaw that I have is that he doesn't hold his sword and shield very well, which I think that's the biggest complaint I have with this figure. As you can see, I mean, his sword and shield are in his hands pretty well, but they do wobble around. As you can see, like, his shield is not very secure in his hand. It's like, it feels like it's very loose, and the sword, he doesn't have a tight grip on his sword, which also bothers me. It just moves around a little bit, and it does make it hard to, I guess, kind of get him to keep his sword in his hand if I'm falling over. So, and then I think this is the last flaw that I have. The second to last flaw that I have is that it can be a pain in the ass even trying to fit his sword and shield into his hands, because his hands, it seems like they're open. They're kind of open, but at the same time they're kind of closed, which I know may sound confusing, but I'm going to try to explain as best as I can. So, see. I'm sorry, I'm sorry that my fingers are in the way. Well, I guess getting the sword to fit in his hand isn't too bad, but trying to get his shield in his hand is a pain in the ass. So, like I said before, there are two different handles. There's this brown leathery handle, and then there's this, like, gray plastic handle. Because the handle is, like, kind of big, and his hands, well, I mean, it doesn't really have nothing to do with his hands being small, but the fact that his hands aren't open very well makes it hard to get his shield to fit in his hand. See, I'm having trouble right now. I was able to do it a couple times before, but okay, yeah, see, I got it. But again, like I said before, he doesn't hold it very well. Just like slides around, which I can't get over. It's something I do have to complain about, because I mean, it's a nicely detailed figure, and it seems like it has some good quality to it, but there are some flaws that hold it back from being an excellent action figure. And then the final thing I didn't show off was putting Link's sword in his holder. It fits in there pretty well, and it stays in there pretty well too, which I really like. Doesn't move around. And then I'll show you. There's a hole on Link's back, and then there's that peg on the carrier. You just plug that into his back, like that, and then he can carry his sword on his back, which I like. It's pretty cool. I like that Jakks Pacific included that accessory. I do have one other flaw with this figure. It might be kind of like a minor complaint, but it's something that I don't feel too happy about. And that is his scale. His scale with the other figures. I'm just going to bring in Mario to show you guys what I'm talking about. It seems like Link is a little too small. I feel like Link should have been a taller character. So here's Link and here's Mario. The problem I have with the scale is that in most video games, Link is normally a lot taller than Mario, and obviously Mario is a shorter character, but Jakks Pacific kind of screwed up the scale, because, look at this. Link is like almost like half an inch taller than Mario, or they're like almost the same height, which is completely off scale. That's one complaint I have. There is another Link figure. There's the Figuarts Link, or the Figma Link, which he's a lot taller and he has a lot more accessories. And but he's a lot more expensive too. I think the Figma is like $55, and then, well, the World Nintendo Link is $8. But I mean, if you're gonna choose between the Figma and the World Nintendo Link, well, I mean, it kind of depends on how much you're willing to spend. I mean, if you want a more detailed action figure that has more articulation and has better scale compared to like Mario and Luigi and like Diddy Kong, then I would say probably pick up the Skyward Sword Link. I mean, not the Skyward Sword, the Figma Link if you're willing to spend like $55. But if you just want, but if you're not willing to spend $50 on a fully detailed and articulated action figure, then I would say get the Jakks Pacific Link. That is if you can find him, because he is definitely the hardest figure to find in Wave 1. I've seen him on store shelves very, very few times. He's going for kind of a lot of money on eBay. I mean, these are normally what, like $8. I mean, it kind of depends where you get them at. If you got them at Target, they're like $7.99 or $8.99, but at Toys R Us, they're normally like $9.99 or $10.99, I think. So it kind of depends where you get them from, but I think the most I've ever seen Link go for on eBay is like $40 or $45, which is way too much. So, just if you want this figure, good luck finding him because he's pretty rare now. Because he's the most sought after in Wave 1 because we haven't gotten a lot of Link figures over the past couple years. So, but that was my review on the Jakks Pacific 4-inch Link action figure. Hope you guys enjoyed. There's really not much else I can say except tune in next time for when I'll be doing a review on the 4-inch Yoshi. See you guys then.